What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Dual Hemisphere Hangout. My name's Luke. And first things first, just want to introduce my lovely co-host over here. His name is Jake. Jake, why don't you go ahead and say hi to everyone?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jake. Originally from the UK, but you'll see from the dual hemisphere hangout, I'm now on a different hemisphere. I now live in Australia. So, apologies to all the Aussies that may be listening. You're thinking that you're going to get an Aussie accent. Nope, you're getting a British one instead.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's the whole idea behind the name is it's actually kind of crazy. I guess we can kind of go into a little bit of backstory about first of all why we're doing this podcast, and two, just a little bit of background about our friendship and how we all met. So, it's about 3 years ago, I would say. I was
Yeah.
streaming on Twitch playing a Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke, and this little guy over here raided my stream one day, and from there a bunch of madness ensued. We started a draft league, did a lot of streams together, and then we went to a Florida trip. And funny enough, transitioning to that, I now live in Florida, which is kind of a full circle moment for everything. And kind of funnily enough, we both moved right around the same exact time, which is honestly pretty freaking crazy in my mind. Jake, what take it away, man? What do you think about like the whole experience, about like how crazy it is that one the way we met, and just how crazy that we both seem to have moved big moves around the same exact time?
I don't know. I feel like we're a bit intertwined, Luke. Like our lives are on a different plane, but acting the same. Yeah. So, like Luke says, it just so happened that I'm pretty sure it was COVID. Everyone's
Yeah.
locked indoors. Everyone's having their streamer era, you know? Like, everyone's in their
Yes,
streamer era.
everyone
Like,
has a for
everyone's
sure.
got loads of time, and like, we're not going anywhere. So, you know what? I'm gonna become the next streamer, and then I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna play games for a living, and then you find out that like maybe I'm not the one. Maybe that's not me. But I started off my streaming career playing my favorite game, which is Pokemon Gold. But obviously, Pokemon made the remake, so why not play Heart Gold because it's got way more content in it? And then, as I think any growing streamer on Twitch does, it's courtesy to raid if you have viewers. So you pick. Me and Luke were at the bottom, so I started from lowest viewers up.
I
And
had
my
like
boy
two
Luke
streamers, I think.
my boy Luke was sat there playing Heart Gold, raided him, and then I remember it. I think I ended stream at about 11 p.m. I was watching your stream till about 5 a.m.
Let's go.
Loving it. And then that's how it all started, really. And then I kept raiding Luke because he was playing Heart Gold, and I was too. And then all of a sudden, a second gear in the cog, Mr. Sebastian Armahijo, turns up, who loves competitive battling. Now, I've never done competitive Pokemon battling in my life, but he was like, "Oh, I want to do a draft league." I've watched draft leagues back in the day, and I was like, "You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Screw it, let's go." And then Luke was number one on the list as invites. It's like, "Oh, we know these people. Like, we were looking for content creators." And I was like, I hit him up. I was like, "Do you want to join a draft league?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And
I'm like,
then
yeah,
here we are today. Just,
yeah.
oh, I don't know, man. It's
It's crazy to think about. Yeah, I always well, like again, the whole idea behind this podcast is literally like me and Jake are COVID's over. We are both grown adults, have jobs, have bills to pay. So, I mean, personally speaking, from my end, the content creation side of things, when it comes to making videos, doing streaming, is I'm not gonna say it's over. I never say anything's completely done, but it's definitely taken a very big backseat of things for me. And so, one of the things I wanted to do, I did want to get back and doing content. And I mean, one of the main things I've always loved is podcasting. I've loved listening to podcasts. I mean, when we were doing the CCC regularly, I came up with the idea of doing a CCC podcast, which there are still 4 episodes out there. Pretty, some great pieces of
hey,
work. I'm
They're
kidding.
good
It's
episodes.
they're good episodes. Quality isn't great, but the conversations are always good. But I was like, you know what? I want to get back into doing some type of content, and I always feel bad when I'm not able to keep up with my friends throughout like that I've made throughout doing content at the time. And so happens, I'm like, you know what? I know I could definitely set aside definitely a couple hours a week to sit down and chat with everyone, and obviously chat with my boy Jake. And it so works while we are, funnily enough, 12 hours apart. Right now it is 11:37 p.m.
I
on a
am in the
Friday for me.
future. I'm in
And,
Saturday.
and Jake, it
I'm
is
on
11, it's
Saturday.
almost noon Saturday for him. And so we're like, what? Honestly, while it is a weird time difference, we're like, you know what? It's actually not as bad as I think it would be, because I'm like, I can stay up late once a night. Jake can wake up a little bit earlier on the days, and we're like, let's go ahead and do it. But yeah, I always look back to that, and the whole premise was just like, I just want to sit down and shoot the shit with Jake and just honestly just talk about life, and honestly just what's been going on. And I always like to, I feel like we're going back in the past and talking about it all, but coming from just streaming and doing all this stuff, it really just opened my eyes to like, yeah, content is still fun for me. And while I can't make it as active as like streaming or making TikTok videos and all that before, I can definitely go ahead and sit down and talk with Jake. We don't care about recording our conversations and post it. And if people like it, let's go. If they don't, oh well, we'll have something to look back on in a couple of years and laugh about it. But
I
yeah,
think
I
it will
mean,
be good to touch on, like you said there, like the TikTok, making TikToks and stuff. I think people
yeah,
don't appreciate how hard it is to, sort of like keep up with content.
yes, I
Like
yeah, I know for a fact. Yeah, speaking of that, like as you know, first off, content is a lot when you, and it's always the thing, you're always chasing that next big like thing. You get that dopamine rush when you get all those viewers and stuff like that. And I mean, for me specifically, coming from first starting off on TikTok, making one video back in March of 2020, I remember I posted a stupid anime video, and I remember checking my phone one day, and that video had 10,000 likes in like 6 hours. And I was blown, because I'm like, the whole idea behind it, and it's cringy now, but it literally was just like, it was literally anime, and it was anime girls, and I literally heard a sound one day. I'm like, you know what, this would probably go well with just anime girls. I'm seeing real life people do it. Let's try it. And I posted the video. It literally is the worst quality production ever. It's literally still images of different anime facial reactions to a sound, and it literally was awful. But for some reason, it blew the fuck up, and from there, it was kind of like off to the races. There, I'm like, oh, I gotta capture this momentum. And I was posting 3 to 4 times a day for
a
about
day.
a day, because that was the TikTok trend. The TikToks, like the algorithm was like, you got to post 3 times a day. You want to post at 3. You want to post at when the kids. It was like when the kids are getting on the bus in the morning, when they're going to be taking their breaks from like their lunch breaks. Or like what you'd post at like 8, you would post at like 1 or 2, and then you post around 4 or 5 again in the evening. And you would. That's just kind of how the algorithm was working at the time, because you're always chasing the algorithm, because you want to hit the right people. You want to hit your target audience. And so I did that pretty consecutively for, I would say, almost a year up to that point. And I met some amazing people through it. And then eventually I got burnout after about a year. I did it for another like half a year. And yeah, it's the grind, man. And that's why I transitioned to Twitch, because I felt like I could have a little bit more control over my scheduling. And I mean, I know Jake, you did a lot of content. You were streaming a little bit, not, I don't say not too much for more than I was when you first started. I think you had only been streaming for like what, 3 months at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
was
I mean,
like,
it's just,
the Twitch machine is a monster as well.
it
Like,
is.
you have to stream every day at a specific time.
Mhm.
Like, I understand it as a viewer. So there's a couple of like vloggers that I watch, and then like Pokemon content creators, and I expect their videos to be in my sub box at specific times. So there's a vlogger that posts every weekday at 7 p.m. Like when I sit down, 7 p.m. GMT. So technically now it doesn't really matter because it came out at 3 a.m. my time. So it's like, well, it's
Yeah.
going to be there eventually when I wake up. But when I was
Yeah.
like, that was my like dinner time viewing. So if
Hmm.
that's not in my sub box, I'm angry. Like, now what do I watch? And then the Pokemon content creator guys, Tuesdays and Sundays. So I
Yep.
sit there, and if it doesn't come up in my inbox, well, my sub box on Sunday, like, where is it? And I think that's
Hmm.
one thing the key that I've never been able to crack with content creation is juggling full time work and creating a schedule where I can build that audience into a certain, so they when they come to view my videos, it's going to be there when they expect it to be there. Because at the moment, my content is all over the place. Oh, there's a stream on Thursday, and then there might be a stream on Saturday, and then there's potentially a stream on Tuesday, and then there's a video on Wednesday. But I've never posted a weird video on Wednesday before, so it's
Yeah.
like,
It always is one of those things where like it's so okay. When I say getting into content creation is not hard at all. You literally hit record and whatever thing you're going to be doing, if you have the proper equipment, whether that be making a TikTok, you can use your iPhone to create pretty much any video and post it on YouTube. Twitch is a little bit different, but I think you can go live on your phone on Twitch anyways. You can
yeah,
create content very easily. Now the quality might be not the best, obviously, but you also don't need the best quality. There's plenty of streamers, video content creators, TikTokers who've made it big off really crappy quality at the beginning because it really is about the personality. But again, it's the grind that goes into it. There is an algorithm that you have to play along with. Yes, you're gonna have those random people that hit gold right at the beginning. Like I said with the TikTok, like I did not expect it to blow up. I didn't post it at a specific time. I heard a sound, I thought it would make sense. And apparently the internet liked it and it hit the right people and it blew up from there. I was like, you can look at the different statistics. And this was when TikTok was still relatively new and they weren't like super different about spreading odds. That video blew up in Indonesia. I think it had 56% viewership in Indonesia. And then it
that's
was like
crazy.
the rest of it was like the US, England, Japan. Like it was all over the place. And so for me, that was the craziest thing about it all was just the different algorithms. And so yeah, going into Twitch, I remember like, all right, if I'm gonna go try Twitch, I'm gonna make sure I set a schedule. And I did keep a pretty good schedule up to that point. And then from there, it was just one of those things where, I was like, all right, I'm going to do Tuesdays and I'm going to do Thursdays. And that's what I would stick to. And it's really all about sticking to that scheduling. And, obviously if you get burned out, you get burnt out. And then when life hits you, then you gotta, oh, you're sick, you can't stream, or your job is taking a lot out of you, you need to focus on your job. It's definitely is a grind. And if that's something that you want to commit full time to or part time to, or just actually want to grow with it, you're gonna have to put in the work. And definitely, I would say one of the biggest ones for me when I was streaming, doing TikToks, is I would have like 10 TikToks at the ready at all times for posting. So I never felt like I had a rush to make a TikTok. I would have like X amount of drafts, which again, the blessing of TikTok is that it was short form content. You can make a 15-second video in about 30 minutes or so, give or take, with what I was doing at the time. Obviously with YouTube and Twitch it's a little bit different. But yeah, definitely the content grind was a thing and is definitely a thing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't miss it at all.
Yeah, like one thing I will like, if you're listening, we'll just have to describe it to you. But I'm going to show something on screen now. Like, so talking of short form content, YouTube Shorts came out, and then I hit that hard because I was like, you know what, this is going to be the next thing. This is one of my YouTube Shorts, and I think it goes to show that for some weird reason, like if you post something on TikTok, right, it's and it doesn't get viewed within 4 hours. I'm assuming it's dead and in the ether,
Yes, most
like it's
likely.
gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Um,
It's usually people say it's been ghost. It's been like hit with a block because of content thing, and it just is not getting to an audience because TikTok's internal people are like, we're not pushing this video because of XYZ.
so I published this on the 4th of April 2013. This
Okay.
is me beating one of the main bosses in Hogwarts Legacy. And you can see, like, in the first, like, 30 days, it got 798 views. Like, okay. And then for some unknown reason, 89 days post, so 3 months post posting the video, 3.9k. 178 days, so about half a year, 8.5k. And then for even some weird reason, around 267 days after I post it, it's now got 16,000. And it's
Yep.
still going to this day. It's had 26 views in the last 48 hours, and I posted it last year.
Crazy because the curve literally is going like straight up like this. Like it's a slow arching thing, and it's crazy, man. Like you just sometimes you just can't. That's the beauty of the internet, man. It's the beauty of social media. Sometimes you just don't know what's gonna hit or when it's gonna hit, and you think I think about it all the time when you think about like kind of going circling back to Pokemon content a little bit, like you have your OGs, you have your Shady Penguins of the world and stuff like that who've been doing this forever. And then you've got guys like Nintendo and Game Boy
Vinny
Luke
is the
who
man.
like who've been doing it for a while, right? But then they found that one content thing that worked for them, and now they've blown up. And Vinny specifically is killing it on his shorts and with his videos, but he's been making videos for like 4 or 5, I want to say 4 or 5 years now. And he just recently, at least for me, started popping up on my timeline and my feed about 7, 8 months ago. And it just goes to show where like you can be doing this for a good amount of time, kind of doing it, but it just takes that one video for something to happen. And if you don't keep up with it, you just kind of just never know. And that's the beauty and the curse of content creation, which is
I think
is the
it's
is,
more
that's what it is.
demoralizing when you get that video that pops and then it just doesn't stay. And it's like, oh,
Yes.
that was my break. And I've missed
Exactly.
it. And it's like, oh
Exactly.
god, because I have had one video where I started playing Pokemon Wrong Hat called Pokemon Gaia.
Mhm.
Episode 1 got
I
like
remember that actually.
1,000 views,
Yeah.
and then episode 2 got 50.
And that's the crazy thing about it. I mean, okay, so the funny thing about this is also from backstory completely like off tangent about what we're talking about a little bit to kind of go into what I'm going to transition this into. So I before I even started doing any content creation, you may or may not have known this. Anyone that knows me outside of this, I worked with kids for about 15 years. So for me, I did that for about 15 years, then literally hard transition, like cut from straight Jake knows is cut straight from the cloth to all right, I'm going into marketing. And that's what I've been doing for the past year and a half. And now looking at it from like a business marketing side of things, it has a lot to do with like if you're gonna do it, you gotta be posting on you gotta have your Instagram, you gotta have your YouTube, you've got to have your X, you've got to be doing everything in marketing with your captions and your hashtags and your sounds you're using. And there's just so much going on. And it's also just feeding in so much content. One thing that I learned in marketing is we call it law of averages. It states that at least when it comes to marketing and selling a product, it says that about out of every 100 people you talk to, 90 of them are going to tell you no, 10 are going to tell you yes. And you can kind of transition that into like making content. So you can think about like, if I put out 100 videos in 30 days, about 10 of them are probably going to hit somewhere. And then from those 10, you can learn, all right, what did I do here? What did I do here? What did I do here? And you can continuously get better. And then from going from 1 to 10, it can go to 1 to 5. And there's so much that goes into it, but it's all about just putting out content or putting out whatever you want to do. Because no matter what, you're gonna have videos that hit, you're gonna have videos that don't hit. But you are gonna eventually, if you keep posting and you keep doing these, you're eventually gonna have those videos that hit. And then the biggest thing from there is to figure out why they hit, and if you can figure that out, do it to all your videos. And I'm not saying they're all going to hit again, but you might get it to the point where now it's 1 in 5 instead of 1 in 10, and you can keep growing from there. And that's the beautiful thing that I've learned from marketing itself. Is it's also the same thing when you're posting a bunch of content, you're guaranteed to get a hit here and there, and that's just
Yeah,
kind of how it
it
is.
will come. It will
It
come.
will come.
Um, I suppose what I should ask then is, what is your biggest content block? For me, it's I have perfectionist syndrome. It's like I will have a video idea and a concept and I'll edit it and it'll never be good enough for me to post it. But I should just post it. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Like because I think any like YouTuber they've always come out and said just post videos. That's all it is. Just
yeah,
start posting videos and then you go from there. Um
yeah. I mean,
but
it's
my
crazy.
videos never see the upload button really.
Well, I mean, personally speaking, at least from my perspective, the biggest content block for me is finding something that I'm passionate about and wanting to stick with it, right? So, like, it's one thing for like for me or TikTok. I was doing a lot of anime stuff. Got really just burnt out on just doing anime stuff. Wanted to transition to Pokemon stuff, so I did start streaming. And then I started streaming, and I love doing Pokemon content, but all I was doing uh shiny hunting, or I was doing a Nuzlocke, or I was doing Draft League, or I was doing a collab with you guys. And thinking back on it now, some of my favorite streams were the ones where it wasn't like a base Pokemon game, like the Mystery Dungeon series I did, or the Ace Attorney series I did, or when I was just playing like Forza for fun on stream. Like those are the ones where I was like, I think for me, it's just finding something that I like and sticking with it, which is why for me, it's always been that thing where I'll dip my toe back into doing a stream once a year or something like that, just to see if I want to do it. And then I stop. I'm like, ah, I don't feel like I want to keep doing that. And that's for me my biggest thing is I guess I just would say I have commitment issues.
I think there's a double edged sword that comes with content creation as well. Is that you can never really play a game by yourself anymore. Um,
You can't.
the record button always has to be hit, which is a shame because there are games where I just want to sit there and not just zone out and play, but like the back of the mind just always comes in and says, well, it's you could make a YouTube video out of this, and it's a curse. It's an
It
absolute curse.
you always have once you start doing content creation, you always have that content creation like built-in mindset. Like you can look at something like I personally can tell you I have not recorded a video for gameplay in long, long time. And to this day, I am still looking at video games as my escape. And I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth recently, and yeah, there's moments where I'm like, damn, I wish I hit record there so I could have my reaction because I'm watching this thing unfold in this scene. I'm like, Tifa, no. And I'm like literally like involved so much in what's going on that I literally have lost it.
Yeah, it's a toughie, man. But that aside of us trying to make content, I think one thing like we could talk about is: are you watching any? What's your favorite content at the moment? Like, what are you watching that's like slapping right now for you? For me,
Honestly,
it's
yeah,
showing my
go ahead.
age. Construction. I'm watching. There's a channel called the Perkins Brothers, and
Uh-huh.
they build houses in remote areas. So currently they're like in
Okay.
Arizona in the middle of the forest, building this like
Mhm.
unbelievably huge house. And for some reason I'll fall asleep to it. So I don't know how, but it's like you'll hear like fucking jackhammers, like, bzz, 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 bzz,
How do
bzz,
you
and I'm
fall
just there like.
asleep to that? That is so funny. That's
But yeah, that's what's slapping for me at the
construction.
moment.
Okay,
Construction
yeah.
videos.
That's
I'm
actually
getting in my dad
hilarious.
arc.
That hey, it happens to all of us, man. For me, when it comes to like long form content, I do watch still to this day. I like I said, I mentioned Nintendo. I don't know what it is. I have those turnaround. You pick just I don't know what it is about those. Like I don't even care about the battles. I just want to see what they pick in the descriptions. I always throw that on before I go to bed at night, and I usually pass out once the battles happen. But I've really been into it's the stupid stuff, man. I am so obsessed with like the random deep clean videos. Like this guy was cleaning a carpet, and I sat there for 7 minutes and watched this man turn a dark brown shit infested carpet turned into a beautiful race car carpet. And I sat there and watched that shit for 7 minutes. I didn't fast forward it. I'm just like mesmerized by it. And I don't know why it's so satisfying to me, but I will find those videos like on all like on every feed, whether that be TikTok, Instagram, or freaking Facebook. I don't even go on Facebook that often, but it just pops up, and I'll just be sitting there like, yeah,
That's it.
he's cleaning that
That's it.
carpet real fucking good, man. um, but I don't know why I've been obsessed with that stuff. Like it started with like the guy who was cutting grass, and now it's with the carpet stuff. And this guy like now is even like this guy finds like random toys in the street and cleans the toys. I'm like, bro, this is so cool to me. I don't know why, and I think it's just because I don't know. Maybe it's because my age is showing as well. I just like simple shit at this point.
Saying that, like, okay, so we're both showing age, even though we're like in the golden years. We've got a two in front of the second number, so like if, there'll be older people watching, going, "You fucking little shits! They've got nothing. You're young yet." Um,
I'm about to be 31, so I got some. I'm in the threes now.
shit. um, so like, I suppose like, what's like, have you made like a? I call it like a boring purchase, like
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
like that shows your age. Like I bought a screwdriver set the other day, bro. I
Bro.
going in and buying a new screwdriver set, or like just like kitchen gadgets. I've got like an ice cream maker now. I've got a blender. Like that was
Ye-
endorphin rush in my head.
yes, it's called being an adult. Yes, I make a lot of those boring purchases. I bought a air fryer the other day, which is pretty cool. That love the air fryer. Um, I don't know why. I don't. They're like back cushions for like your bed and stuff like that. I use them for my
Oh,
chair because I have really bad posture. But like it's the things you see in like dorm rooms and stuff. Like when you're like for people who are like studying on their computer. I'm like, I just have a bad back and I just need something nice and soft on my back at sometimes. And then just like random things like old stuff. Like I bought like pillowcases the other day, and I bought
oh,
wash
you
random
know,
like I bought
have you
washcloths
have you
and a
got into
sheet
bamboo
set.
bedding yet?
What the no? What is
Oh,
bamboo?
bro. Oh,
Wait, what is
bamboo
bamboo
sheets.
bedding?
Bamboo sheets. I
Okay.
have. You'll come to appreciate because I mean I've been to Florida, right? I've been to Florida 4 times.
Yes,
One and then fourth time was to me. I know that shit. When you're trying to sleep, bro, that is
yeah,
rough.
it is rough.
Bamboo bedding.
Okay,
That's all I'm gonna say. Bamboo. Buy something. It
all right, I'm gonna
it
buy
is
it.
so comfy and it keeps you
Okay.
so cool. Like oh,
I love
I
being cool.
can't
I don't
now
like being
not
hot.
sleep. I cannot sleep without it. I'm also looking at like a product called like Eight Sleep.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna go with Eight Sleep because it's like a monthly subscription on top of the
Mhm.
purchase, but it's like a mattress topper,
Okay.
and it has like hydro tubing in it, and
Mhm.
you can have it for like any size bed, and it can do it like dual side, so it controls your temperature through a thermometer, so it can keep you in a
Oh.
range. So the bottom sheet, like underneath your bottom sheet, it'll be like you can either
Mhm.
have it cold or warm, or you can set it to like warm your feet up when you get like dead cold feet. And apparently it's meant to like improve your sleep infinitely. So like I
I'm
think that's going to be my
Imma have
next
to look
purchase.
Imma have to you when you purchase it, you gotta let me know how it works because I might have to look into that because
Sleeping
I'm a
review. I'm just going to post sleeping.
every week when we do this, I'm like, "How'd you sleep this week? Tell me about it, man." No, like, yeah, definitely, man. Being an adult now, it's still one of those things where like I am still like finding random things like I still gotta buy this stuff or this stuff. And now for me, it's specifically car parts because my car is like messed up. And so for me, like now it's like, all right, I'm an adult and I have YouTube, so I will also say I'm pretty mechanically savvy. I pretty much can look at a YouTube video and figure out how to do something with my hands. When it comes to computers, don't ask me. I can't do anything with a computer. You also are the reason why this podcast looks so great, by the way. But for me, like I will like it's like car parts and buying tools for the car to like fix the brakes and fix the alternator and stuff like that. But I kind of piggybacking off of that, it's like I still make stupid decisions. Like when it comes, not stupid decisions with my money. I
Impulse
make good
buys.
decisions with my money. Impulse buys, and it's just like, hold on. So he's right behind me. Hold on, let me go grab him real quick.
So for the listeners, Luke is grabbing what looks to be a plushie.
So I was working in an event at a party city, and I saw this freaking Bidoof plushie right here. And I literally did not think about it. I did not look at the price tag. I picked that thing up. It scanned for $24. I tapped my phone and I walked out with it. Did not care. It's in the bag and I'm not gonna run to the kitchen. But there was a 99-cent Pokemon cup with Charizard on it that I saw today, and I just said, fuck it. And I bought it. I some certain things I will just literally look at it. I'm like, I just don't care.
So
I don't care how much
there's
it costs.
it's not official Pokemon product, but there's a claw machine outside my supermarket. I've done the same. Watch this.
Oh no. All right, Jake is literally going to go grab another thing as well. I cannot believe we were just buying random stuff. That's crazy. That's this it's a beautiful thing about it, man. It's a, it's a fucking poly world. It's a stuff, dude. It looks so cool. What the hell?
It's not official Pokemon product like
It
license. It's
looks
not going to
pretty.
tag on anything. It looks sound.
It looks good. Yeah.
But yeah, it was on a claw machine. Last night I had to go getting a Caterpie. I saw a Caterpie. I was like, I need that shit.
Yeah. How much did you put in the claw machine before you got it?
So
Like, was it first claw?
no, it was about fifth claw.
Okay.
At
It's not bad.
five Aussie dollars a pop. So maybe like
Okay. So,
two US.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not
Um,
bad. No, that's, yes.
but I did
Impulse
the
buys
exact
are
same
still
thing.
big.
I did the
Yes.
exact same thing. Obviously, and then I've got for viewers watching. I've got the full impulse buy behind me, with all the
Yes.
posters, plushies, trophies, the whole
Very much
shebang.
so.
But this one was definitely like you see the claw machine, you know it's gonna rob
Mm.
you. It's like I ain't winning this, and then you're boy. I've got the strats. You don't grab
You
it by
got
the
it.
middle, guys. You grab it by the side and you just throw it over the edge. It's like
There you go. All right. If you ever need any help with the claw machine, make sure you guys hit up Jake. Okay, his
I'm
DMs are open
arcade
for claw
master.
machine
I was
advice.
born in the arcades.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, while we are adults and we have to make adult purchases like hammers and card parts and bamboo sheets and bedding, we still will see a random Pokemon toy and be like, don't care how much it costs. I'm getting it. And oh well. And that's the beautiful thing about it, man. I literally love it. And I guess since we are kind of talking about Pokemon, I would say probably that was the again the initial thing, us finding each other through streaming Twitch and playing Pokemon. But I think for both of us, we can easily say that Pokemon is like a very huge part of our lives, our
Yeah,
internet personalities as well. Um, and for me, I always just think about like how crazy Pokemon is now. Like it's had like a second surge. I don't want to say a second surge of pop. It's always been popular, right? But I want to say like it's going into a nut again. I think it's thanks to the cards. I think people like buying all these cards now, like within the past 2 or 3 years, that Pokemon has got another like resurgence into popularity. But it's crazy to think that we are well over 1,000 individual Pokemon right now. We are on the ninth line of main series games, and it is 2024, and Pokemon is still thriving and is literally a juggernaut of what it is. I
it's
think
huge.
back to playing it on my Game Boy Color way back when, and now being 30, going on 31 within about 21 days. Still, every single day, ex- consuming some sort of Pokemon something every day, whether that's Pokemon Go, whether that's social media. It's Pokemon's everywhere, and it's such a big part of my life. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think we would have met without Pokemon, which is kind of crazy to
No,
think
not a
about.
chance. Not a chance. Well, I don't think I'd be. Well, when I first started streaming, like I didn't do Pokemon. I started off with Warzone content, like everyone did.
Yes,
And I don't think I'd have seen Luke in Warzone. One because um, we're on different.
you would
Well,
not have
we
seen.
were on completely different servers.
Yes,
But two, I just don't think that the community is as involved. It's a very dog eat dog world in Warzone, while or Call of Duty, or any FPS shooter, because you have to be the best. Now, Pokemon is all about being the best, but you're never really ever gonna get there. Like, I tried, I failed epically. Um,
We can't all be
I'm happy.
Wolfie.
No, we can't all be Wolfie. I mean, it was an experience playing in the actual convention centers.
Yes.
It's not as glitz and glamour as the stream makes out. You're in the bullpen, and it's. I mean, you've got to love the game. You have to love the
Yes.
game to play that stuff. It was brutal. Sitting
Yeah.
down and there's like hundreds of rows of players, and you have to lock in. And let's be honest, I'm used to playing at the comfort of my own home.
Mhm.
It's another beast. So shout out to all those VGC players and TCG players, because it's like the TCG is even bigger than the VG at the moment in terms of player
Couldn't
count.
be me.
Yeah,
Nah, and it's grown so
it's
much because you piggybacking off you went to what regional was it?
Liverpool regionals.
The Liverpool regional this year. I remember because I was helping you and Nick prep a little bit here and there for the thing. And yeah, it's crazy because the way you described it to me, because I used to also play competitive Pokemon pretty seriously back in the Black and White 2 era of days. Now I never went to any like really big regionals or anything like that. There was just a lot. Plus, it wasn't that big back then at all. There wasn't so many. There were still regionals, but they weren't very well advertised. And I remember going to some local competitions like in Virginia, and I went to one in DC. That was probably the biggest one, but there was maybe 100 people max. And kind of talking about the growth of not even just Pokemon, but the competitive scene of Pokemon, that now there's so many layers to it is literally
There
ridiculous.
was
And it's crazy.
750 VG players there.
Nah, dude. Nah, nah.
750.
I don't.
Like,
Yeah, no, 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 nah, not for me. I am gladly. I can safely say competitive Pokemon. I will do ladder from the comfort of my bed, and I will do draft league. I am never going to another competition ever again unless I somehow develop a master brain for Pokemon within the next 5 minutes. Not happening
nah,
anytime soon.
I think I've just lost the competitive edge. Like, I, I think because I get so stressed that I want to do well,
Mhm.
that sometimes it's just out of your control. Like, you can't get any better than what you already are. Um,
Exactly.
Without putting in the vast amount of effort that these VG players do. Like, I wasn't prepared to sit there and play 1,500 showdown games trying to perfect the team and understand every matchup. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not that person. Like, I can't do that. One,
No,
I
no,
don't have the
no.
time, and two, I don't have the willpower to sit there. I love team building. Team building's great. That's the best bit about it.
Oh yeah, it's always everyone's favorite part is the team building aspect of things.
But then actually playing, nah, bit
Yeah,
boring. Bit
it,
boring.
it's, it can yeah. It's definitely
And
like
this
the building is boring when it comes to
I
like
think there's no
playing these
connection. I think
games.
that's why Draft League thrives over VGC in my eyes. Obviously, VGC is more accessible to anyone because you kind of need friends, but you don't really need a group of people. You can practice by yourself. You can practice on Showdown. You can build teams by yourself. You can go to events by yourself. Draft League, you kind of need a close knit community of
Yeah,
people, and I think that's why Draft League is better because you have connections to the people you're playing against. There's like when I've played you or the other friends we have like Nick, Seb, Jack, like there's a connection when battling people. So it's a rivalry. Like me and Phoenix have the longest rivalry going. I think we've played in every draft league season we've ever played in, and it's like it's a battle of who can bring the wackiest stuff as well.
yeah.
We know that we're not going all out. Well, we are, but you're
Mhm.
trying to do it in a way that has never been seen before. Um, it's and I prefer that. I prefer rivalries between friends than just like when I went to Liverpool. It's like I don't know this person opposite me. You shake their hand, you play the game, and then it's over, and you'll never see that person again. It's like there's no connection for me to like. Fair enough, I
Yeah.
won that game. Okay, see ya, bye. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's literally it is that thing. It's kind of like again, for those who don't know anything about what we're talking, we're just throwing out words for people who've never had anything to deal with like Pokemon competitive VGC. So little background, VGC specifically is the official Pokemon company video game professional format that is doubles. You pick a team, but you have 6 Pokemon per team. You pick 4 to send out in a battle. It's usually best 2 out of 3 And with Pokemon competitiveness, it's a lot of stats and numbers. And maybe one day we'll go into a full deep dive episode of what competitive Pokemon is. But on the complete opposite side of things, with what Jake's saying, is draft league. If you've ever played like fantasy football or any fantasy sports team, is you draft Pokemon. They're tiered up into specific tiers depending on what kind of draft you're having, whether it be a points draft or just a regular. You get to pick one Pokemon from each tier kind of draft. You pick your Pokemon, you build a team, usually about 10 Pokemon. You build a team, you have 10 Pokemon to pick from every week. There's trades during the seasons. You send six Pokemon in during a battle, best two out of three. But you know who you're battling every single week, pretty much. Usually you have, again, you know who your opponent's going to be for that week. Like one week it might be me playing Jake. And so that week I know I'm playing Jake's team. So he's got his 10 Pokemon I can prepare for the week. And then you do have that connection with that person because most of the time in most draft leagues, there's usually a mutual connection between things. Or if not, you're communicating about when you're going to battle and you can talk about after the events. And then you can build that communication and that camaraderie through that and stuff like that. And so draft league Pokemon is definitely, again, a more fun environment and, again, more personal interaction when you're playing a competitive version of Pokemon versus going to a tournament or just doing online battles. But that's
Yeah,
enough for, if you guys had no idea what we meant by draft league and stuff like that. That's what we were talking about. But yeah, no, Pokemon is definitely a main part of us even meeting, and it's just crazy to think about how much it's grown and honestly still growing to this day, which is still mind blowing to me.
it's crazy. Right, I'm gonna do a hard tangent here. Look, we're
Okay.
we're gonna do a little bit of a mini game of
Ooh,
Would You
ooh.
Rather?
Oh, would you rather? Jake, okay, to
Uh,
preface this
so-
before we jump in, Jake literally sent me a message tonight saying, "Hey, I've got mini games for you. I'm going to surprise you in the middle of the podcast." I'm like, "All right, when are the mini games going to happen? So let's do it."
so this is going to be the little
All right.
mini game of this podcast, and then we'll have a couple more, but they need a bit of setup.
Woo. Yes.
So if you don't like Pokemon content, you can skip to this part. We'll put a little timestamp in the thing, and you can come straight to the fun stuff.
Pokemon.
So I've got a little list on my phone.
Okay.
There's like they're just wacky ones. So we'll start off on the
Okay.
first one as a warm up. Would you rather
Okay.
have bad breath or smelly feet? I think this is an
Ooh,
easy one.
definitely smelly feet for me because
I
I
would be the
can't
same. You could cover that shit
I
up.
could you can cover that. You like if like you can brush your teeth all you want, and if it doesn't work, you're still gonna have bad breath, and people have to smell it. You can like wear your like socks, and you can put some powder in those socks, and unless you're wearing flip flops, the smell should be contained within the shoes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Another scenario. Would you rather fight 1,000 ants or ant-sized bulls or one bull-sized ant?
I'd rather fight one. Ooh, I'd rather fight one.
1,000
Actually,
ant-sized bulls or one bull-sized ant?
see, that's the thing, right? Because if I'm fighting a bull-sized ant, those things have fucking pinchers, and that shit might bite my arm off. But if I'm fighting 1,000 bull-shaped ants, I think I'll be okay because I can just step on the bull-sized ants. They'll still squish underneath my feet. I don't
I
think it
think you're
will
right, like
be.
because
I
I think
I'm
a
just trying
bull
to.
will do less damage when it's smaller.
Yeah, like it might like poke my shoe a little bit, but if they're the size of an ant, I'm still stepping on 100, like 50 of them at a per step. So I think I'll take the bull sized ants over the one ant that's the same size as a bull because that thing might fuck me up.
Okay,
It's got
would you
pincers, bro.
rather would you rather have an abnormally sized big toe or an abnormally sized big ear? Just one. Just-
I'll take the toe, man, because again I can cover that up a little bit. I just be like, yeah, I got a like a big foot, man. Like if I got that whole ear, man, like dude, like you're gonna like the ear would be like hanging out right here, dude. I don't want to look like Dumbo. No.
oh god.
What
Let's
about
have a
you?
look.
What would you rather
Ah,
have?
oh,
Would you
toe for
take the big
sure.
ear?
Toe for
Okay.
sure.
I was like, if you're gonna take the
I can
ear,
amputate that stuff.
there you go. Fair enough.
This one would probably be harder for you.
Okay.
I do the second one already.
Okay.
Would you rather give up social media or eat the same meal for the rest of your life?
Mm, I would. That's tough, actually. For me, I think I would like to say I would give up social media, but I know I don't think I could do that because that means YouTube, that means literally everything that I literally my life is surrounded by. So I would say I'd probably would eat a meal for the same. It depends on the meal. Like if it's chicken and rice, I could probably eat that all day and I'll be all right. Like I
I'm
might be a
just,
little disappointed. But I'll be like I could do it. You know, yeah, I don't
I
think I could
already do
live
it.
without
Like
social
my
media.
diet doesn't change a lot. Like it's literally like the
There you
same
go.
meal every single day.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one though. Like, I would like to say I could give up social media to eat whatever I want, but I'm honestly thinking like, if you give me chicken and rice every day, I think I could make it.
I need YouTube in my life.
Exactly. That's the thing. If I didn't like, if YouTube wasn't a thing, man, I'd be all right. Like, I'd be good. I just put on, TV and watch ESPN
I
every
ain't
day and
paying
go
for
to bed.
TV. Get out of here.
Fair enough.
Would you rather have to use sandpaper as toilet paper or hot sauce as eye drops?
Oh my god. Uh, honestly, probably I. That's crazy. That's actually I don't I would okay, for me personally, I think I would ha- have to I don't wear glasses, so I don't need see the need that I'm ever going to need to have eye drops personally. So I think I'll be okay, but yeah, I don't think I could wipe my butt with sandpaper, bro. Like you already
Yeah,
know when
I don't.
you're wiping too many times already with normal toilet paper and that shit starts to bleed sometimes after you've gone for like a third time in the day. Dude, sandpaper, bro, I'm sorry. I don't want my asshole being bloody.
I don't know, man. I feel like hot sauce might make me blind. I'd rather have
I
a
see
non-functional butt than not being able to see.
that's the thing, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna need eye drops. So, like, if I had like contacts or glasses, then maybe. Like, if God forbid I get freaking pink eye one day and I have to do the hot sauce thing, but I'd be shitting a lot. I'm lactose intolerant, man. Like, if I eat cheese, man, I'm on the toilet for an hour. So,
And then for the last one, because
woo.
the ones I'm reading are a bit garbo, uh, would you rather have X-ray vision or super sensitive hearing?
That's tough. I would say, see, I don't honestly want either of those because I don't want to have X-ray because I don't want to be able to see things I don't want to see, or even if I want to see them. But also, I don't want to be hearing random conversations because then they might be talking about me, and then I might be upset by that. I don't know. I think I guess I would. Can I control the X-ray vision? Like I can just be like,
I guess,
Jake, you
yeah.
don't have any clothes on, or do I always have
Well, to be
X-ray
fair, if
vision
it's
on?
X-ray vision, if we're thinking of like X-rays, you'd just see my skeleton, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well then, all right. Well then, I can do that one. I don't want to hear people. If it's just a skeletal structure, I'm not just seeing because X-ray vision is so like novel. Like there's too many different. But if it's just skeleton structure, then I'm good with that. But I don't want to be
I
hearing
don't
people
know.
talk
Like
about me.
maybe super sensitive hearing is good. Like maybe I might be like good at COD. Then I can hear those footsteps. Like, pow, pow, pow.
Oh, you could just buy a really nice headset.
My ears don't work anyway, so
Yeah,
maybe
you have a
yeah, I'll
good.
go with
You
super
have
sensitive hearing because my ears don't
super
work
sensitive
anyway.
hearing, and you're at work, and like the guy in the fifth building walks past you, and you just hear him talking under his breath about how much of an asshole you are for just looking at him in the morning. You're like, "What did I do, man? I just looked at you, and you've never met this guy a day in your life." I
Okay,
don't know,
that
man.
that is our mini game. So we had a couple of would you rather's. I've got ideas lined up. We'll save them for next episodes.
Oh, yes, for
So I
sure.
suppose we can tangent back. So like at the start, you said we both moved at the same time, and we kind of
Yeah.
left that off. What's your favorite and worst thing about? Well, not the moving process because everyone knows the moving process is
Dude, I could go
garbage,
on
man.
and on. We will talk.
Uh,
We'll have a whole episode dedicated to the
just on
thrills of moving alone. Um,
Uh, favorite and worst place about Florida, and then favorite and worst place, worst thing about your previous place. Where I think it was Norfolk, right?
Yeah, yeah, Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, so I guess I get for here personally, what I really do enjoy a lot about Florida, like living down here in Florida specifically. So where I'm located, I live in Tallahassee, Florida. So I'm right in the panhandle, like I'm on the front edge of it. So I'm still like technically in the Bible Belt of America. So it's very southern charms, very southern. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm actually trying to say with this. Southern hospitality. There it is. Very
Yeah.
southern hospitality out there. Most of the people here are very, very nice. Genuinely, they are very nice people. They're very polite. There's not a whole lot of people that are typically rude. Obviously, you're gonna have your rude people, and I talk to
Yeah,
people all day long. I talk to like 200 people every single day doing what I do for work. But most of the people here are very, very nice. So I would say that's probably my favorite part is that the people are genuinely just very nice and pleasant to be around sometimes. What I don't like about where I live specifically, besides the heat is always an obvious factor. Here in Florida, it's very hot, it's humid, it's very sticky. But besides the heat, it's people can going back to the people, well, they are very nice. I have never been at a place where people have no sense of urgency to do anything. Like they drive very slow for no reason. They say they're in a hurry and they slow down. Like they just walk at a snail. They just go at a snail's pace. They everywhere they go, they're taking like a leisurely stroll to wherever they're going, even if they say they're in a hurry. And I just don't understand that. So that's probably maybe the most frustrating thing. Specifically, driving in this part of Florida sucks. As you know, I do like to drive. I like to drive fast, not super fast over the speed limit, but I like to get where I'm going. I don't like to be stuck doing things that I don't need to be doing, like sitting at a red light. But that's just me personally. And then kind of going back from home, back to Norfolk. It's honestly just my favorite part about it is the beach. I love the ocean. The ocean was always in my backyard. I could walk to the beach most of the days. I was maybe 10, 15 minutes away by car when I wasn't living right on the ocean. It just brings me peace. Like if I was ever very stressed, I would just hop in my truck or in my car at the time, take a 5 minute stroll to the bay and literally sit on the beach. That's probably my favorite thing that I miss about it. And then what I don't miss about it, um, I probably again, it's kind of like going back to it. I hate saying like the people, but it's a very military town, and so people are blunt, and people may like that aspect of things. I just personally just think people are just typically a little bit more ruder up there. I don't know. I like people being more pleasant.
yeah.
The people up in Norfolk specifically were not the most pleasant bunch to be around. But yeah, what about you, Jake? What do you miss about good old England? And what do you love about being down here in Australia? And what can't you stand about being in Australia?
So I think we've got like very similar things. In England, obviously I miss the friends and the family.
Yeah,
Obviously that's where I'm born, and everywhere. Well, everyone is there within like a 30-minute radius. So, like, if you want to see someone, it's fine and good. What I don't like about England is, well, the way it's going at the moment. Well, not politically, but like economically.
yeah,
It didn't seem financially viable. Buying houses, adult stuff just becomes a chore. Jobs never pay enough money, and you try and chase the money. And like, I got to a point where I was like, I sat down and I was like, you know what? Like, what am I actually doing? Like, what do I want from like life? Like, you can't spend all of your life chasing money. You've got to enjoy it at some point, right? Um, Another thing I hate about the English way of life is the train system, public transport.
Hey,
It's
we don't
fucking
have that in
shit.
America.
Keep it
We
that
have
way.
buses and
I'd
some
rather
trains,
I'd
but
rather it
most of
not
the
be
time it's
there.
cars.
I'd rather it
Yes.
not be there than in the state that it's in. Um, but and you know what? Like everyone moves to Australia for the temperature. I kind of liked the UK temperature. Only in summer though. Like the winters were kind of brutal. Like I don't know what -10 is in Fahrenheit.
I have
I'll
no
quickly have a
idea.
quick. I'll have a quick
I think
Google.
it's like
Minus.
minus.
You'll have probably like encountered this because like America is wild.
It's yeah. America's like three different countries in its own right. 14
14.
degrees. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
had some like it's gotten that at least in Virginia it's gotten down to like 10 before, but that's like upstate upstate northern like New York, like Vermont, Canada
Yeah.
coldness right there on average. So yeah, that's pretty freaking cold.
Like so yeah, like that, but that was like snap winter. So like
Yeah.
usually it's like -5 ish.
And
Like
y'all
I could
never
deal
and
with
y'all
it.
don't have AC. You didn't have
No.
central AC up there because it never got like that hot. But when it would get hot, like in the
Oh,
70s, it would
bro.
be like dreadful for you guys, right?
It would rip. Like you'd see me, I'd be streaming, and it's like the only not only I was streaming, myself I was streaming with sweat.
Yes, yes, I remember those days because you that I would know when it would be hot because you would wear your tank top in the summer times when you would stream because it was so warm. Exactly. Yeah.
um, so and then coming down to Australia, like obviously it's a massive move, and everyone it's the poster country, right? Like everyone like puts like oh god, it's. I mean, I'll just for the viewers, this
Yes.
is the beach. It's like
Woo!
it's
How far is that beach from your house?
a 5 minute drive.
Oh
I
my god, you're living the dream, man.
uh yeah,
That's beautiful. That water is
it
clear too. I can just
I
tell
ain't
from
going
the
in there
picture
though.
how
There's
clear it is.
sharks. Like I don't fuck with sharks, bro.
You're speaking to the guy who would get on his boogie board and they'd be like, "There's sharks." I'm like, "Well, we're going out there anyways. If they eat us, they eat us."
Like I'm on the land, they're in the water. We don't need to meet. Like I'm
Fair
not
enough.
encroaching on their space. They're not encroaching on mine. It's a picturesque, but we moved in like winter because
Okay.
obviously the it's flipped. So summer southern hemisphere, like what would be UK summer, is now Australian winter, which is going to be weird because Christmas is going to be like 40 degrees centigrade. So that's like let's throw that in the calculator. 104,
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
104. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be hot on Christmas when I'm
Yeah.
used to it being freezing. Um, but that, like I love the weather. Now it's getting really nice. It's a perfect temperature. It's like just when you walk outside, it's just t-shirt weather, like little breeze, so you're not
Yeah.
constantly getting cooked. Um, I also like the way of life around here. It is
Okay.
like the houses are all really nice. They're different.
Mhm.
In the UK, you'll get a like a row of houses and they all look the same. Like because everyone builds their own house here, every house is different. So the streets have a bit of character about them, and how clean the place is. Um, it did strike me that it's some Aussie culture. People don't wear shoes or socks in public.
Okay. I see. Okay. Okay. Kind of. Okay. That is definitely not an American thing, but it is more of a beachy type of thing. So I would go to Carolina a lot, and we would go to the beach houses, and yeah, a lot of places people would walk around like in stores and storefronts without their socks on or shoes
I've seen
on.
it on the train,
Um.
in the underground,
Yeah. That.
like
See.
in the city
That.
centre.
That's a no no. So that's not normal.
But it goes to show how clean the city is.
Yeah.
And
For
then
sure.
I've got the same pet peeves as you. Coming down to Australia, I didn't realize that everything is so slow. So I live in WA, Perth,
Yeah.
and people that live here commonly say that WA stands for wait a while.
Oh no,
I was
I would lose my
blessed
ever
living in
loving mind.
Manchester, England, that we
Yeah.
lived about 20 minutes away from an Amazon depot. So when um, I ordered something, I can get that shit same day, 8 p.m. I order something here, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Nah, that's
Like,
wild.
but I suppose it's a double-edged sword because it keeps the high streets alive. So there's no empty shops. Nothing is
Yeah.
boarded up. Like people are on the high street. Like today, I needed
Hmm.
an SD card reader. Instead of ordering it on Amazon and getting it by 8 p.m., I had to go out and buy it. Like,
Yeah.
it keeps people in jobs and stuff, but everything takes so long here. I have been commercialized by the capitalism system of
Yes.
many central cities, and now moving out here, it's the same as you, Luke. With everyone's on a slower pace, man, and it takes adjustment. It
It
really
does.
does
It
take
definitely does.
adjustment.
It definitely does. I mean, I will say it's kind of weird, like how, like, kind of take me personally. I'm never not in a hurry. Like, I'm just used when I'm driving a car. I'm always going 5 or 10 miles above the speed limit. Just that's how I've always driven. You can say I'm a bad driver if you want, but I think it's a natural thing for most people to go over the speed limit most of the time. I just like to get where I'm going. Now, if I don't have anywhere to go, like I'm chilling, I'm cruising. Like if I'm driving home, Like at the end of the day, I got my music up. I'm going usually going the speed limit. I'm not getting frustrated when people are braking in front of me. But it's just when I've got somewhere to go, I want to get there. I want to get there as quickly as possible, do what I need to do so I can enjoy whatever I want to do afterwards. Or when I so I can enjoy not having something to do. Now, like you said, the people here, they just seem like they just never have anything to do, which is okay, fine to all. And I know I will adjust eventually. I'm not planning to be out of Florida anytime soon. But it definitely isn't a taking an adjustment where these people, the people, and I hate saying these people, but the people that live down here are very, do they just go at their own pace and they just genuinely I'm shocked when I see someone in a hurry, like someone moving fast. I'm like, oh my god, they're moving fast. They must be in a hurry. Oh, they're actually in a hurry today. That's crazy. I've never seen that. It's been like a week since I've seen a person who's got somewhere to go in Tallahassee, Florida. That's not a college student,
Yeah, and
But
then it's taken some
usually
getting
I'm
used
like,
to as well.
yes.
The store opening times as well.
Oh,
So
what time do they
everything
open here?
shuts at maybe majority of retail shuts at 6 p.m.
What is your
Like
working like? Okay, well then, what's the working hours for? If everything closes at 6, then
nine
you
till
guys only
five.
work like.
Like everyone goes. I work 10 till 6 because I've got flexibility in working hours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
when I finish work and I walk out, everything is shut,
That's crazy. Okay, see
barring the
that.
supermarkets. The supermarkets will stay up
Okay.
until nine
So is it
p.m.
main? So is it mainly like just mom? Like in America, we call them mom and pop shops, like little like privately owned shops that are what's.
No, they're
Are we
like
talking about like they're
retail, like
conglomerates?
major retail, like
Uh,
GameStop will shut at 6.
that's crazy to me. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm okay. Okay, it does. Okay, it makes sense because of the way you're saying, like everyone just like you stops work at 6. So I guess everyone just gets off at 6 and teach their own. But like, I don't know, man. That's a little bonkers to me.
Yeah,
That
because
makes me be like,
when me and Rach came down for a holiday, we were
yeah,
in holiday mode, so you sleep in, maybe and we're still dealing with jet lag.
yeah.
Um, we would go out for meals at 7 p.m. in the middle of the week, and everywhere's shut.
That's wild. Is it because you guys
Like
are just in Perth? Is it just Perth? Is it the
I
same
think
way
it's
in
just Perth.
Melbourne?
No, the
Okay.
Gold Coast on the other side, it's like Party Island up until 3 a.m.
Okay, cool. Okay, okay.
uh, but yeah, that's taken a lot of getting used to. Like everything short.
Yeah.
Like I find once I get home from work at I'd say 7, half
Mhm.
7 at night.
Yeah.
I want to get some beers from the liquor store.
Mhm.
Like I got half an hour, bro. I gotta run. I gotta
You gotta run.
sprint.
And now it's a good thing you're used to that hustle and bustle because you probably get there right at the ass
They
crack of
literally
seven
look at me
o'clock, and
5 minutes. They look at the
they're
clock going
closing
5 minutes.
they're counting up the money at the end of the day, and they're like, oh, here comes that Brit. Hold on.
He's coming.
He's coming. The British are coming. That's
But no,
wild. But yeah,
I like being here. It's
yeah,
just they
I love living here
value
too, man.
work life balance. Like
Yeah.
they are. It's the same thing with paid time off. Like I know America is kind of it's a whole different story in America, but UK you're used to getting annual leave for about approximately 25 days a year. You can have off paid. Here it's about the
Not a
same
thing here.
20. It's about 20, but every
Okay.
7 years for my long term service leave, I will get 3 months off paid.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so you sacrifice the 5 days and you get them back as a lump
Hmm.
in
Yeah.
7. So God forbid when I'm 35, I've got 3 months
Hmm.
off, baby. It's
Hey,
time to travel.
woo! We're going back to
uh,
Florida.
I definitely will be because I'll be going back to the UK. So I'll catch you.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we could tangent on to Florida, man. Like that
Yeah.
trip was insane. So was
That's
it a year or 2 years ago?
it was two. Okay, so it was 2 years. Yeah, it would be right. Or we it would literally it would be 2 years about a week ago because it you can't we did it because I remember almost not being able to go because when I was working at the child care center, it was a week before school happened. Started up. And so I was literally was going the week when everyone was prepping and stuff like that. So yeah, it was about 2 years ago to this date. And what a freaking trip. So background on that trip is that this is actually the first and actually only time me and Jake ever actually met each other in person. Jake said he was going to Florida and I was like, you know what, I think I won some type of like airline travel thing from work because I was such a great employee.
Oh yeah,
Jake,
I
you know
remember
this.
that.
Jake remembers. Jake also knows how freaking much they depended on me because I was on the phone half the time dealing with stuff out for
Luckily, we
work
had
stuff
hours
on
of
the
queues
trip.
in Disneyland, which is fine because you
Thank
can make
God,
phone
which is
calls while in the
fine. I
queues. It
couldn't
makes
make
them go quick.
exactly. But I got like a $500 like airline travel thing because I was an amazing employee. And so Jake said he was going down there. I was like, my flight's paid for. I just got to pay for the Disney tickets and just the Airbnb. So why the heck not? And yeah, this was the first time we met, and we said we're going to Disney. And we were tourists. I was honestly a tourist too because I again this is my at that time my second time going to Florida. I had only
I'd been
been
to Florida
one
more than
time.
Luke had, and I lived
I
in the
know that's
UK.
crazy because he's been to Florida more than I have. I went one time with my mother when I was a freshman in high school, 15 at the time, and then 2 years ago I was 28. So yeah, literally like almost 12 years later, I said, "Let's go again. Let's go be a kid again." Man, that was a fun time. I all I remember about that trip was going to Epcot, getting literally shit faced drunk, trying all the food, getting all the cheese dishes for that freaking thing. We would wait the
Fromage
queues,
montage.
nothing but lines. Again, I in America we if you don't know what queue is and you're from America, it means the line. And so dude, we'd sit in a lot of lines, a lot of queues all the time. But it was a hell of a trip, man. I specifically remember the first night we met officially in person. I just remember you were sitting there. I was like, I got some beers, and we just cracked up like we drink like a pack in like an hour and a half, and just and
Stellas. Stellas.
Stellas, and we tried to fix the pool. It was a whole, it was a whole ordeal. Oh my god, that
Do you
Florida trip
remember
was
it
something
raining at
else.
at like
I
6
live here
every
now.
day? And
I'm
you,
used to it, bro. I know. I was
the we,
prepared. I'm like, oh, it's gonna rain at some point, dude. It's been raining nonstop here all week long. Like
oh,
it's just like
bro.
all week, which is
I remember
because there's
messaging
some.
you the other week. I don't know how it happened, right? So like I'm scrolling on YouTube and then like when I hit the live tab and I was like, let's
Yeah.
just see who's live. And it was Tornado Chasers. I was like, that
Yes.
sounds sick. Throw that on. And it's like, okay, we're in Tallahassee, Florida. I was like, no, Luke.
Oh
Literally
my
messaging
god.
going, Luke, there's a tornado on the way. Stay safe.
Exactly, dude. It's okay. Oh my god, dude, the freaking getting here. That's a whole nother story for another podcast. The freaking travel to here, but little preview of whenever we'll touch on it. I'll touch on it more in detail in a couple episodes or whenever we talk about new life and moving. The first week I was here, three tornadoes touched down in Tallahassee, Florida, and somehow we did not get affected by it. Like me and my my roommate at the time, we literally slept through it the entire time. Our alarms went off on our phone. We both woke up. I looked at. I just assumed it was a child that got kidnapped, and I just threw my phone down back on the pillow, went back to sleep, and then we go to work, and we're getting call outs. So like, there's trees down, or trees down. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And we look at the thing, and three tornadoes ran through like complete devastation. Like it was bad. It was, and then people were like, "Yeah, I just moved here," and people were like, "We promise it's not like this. This is like the first tornado in like 10 years." I'm like, I literally was like, "Is this a test?" It's like someone trying to tell me to get the fuck out of Tallahassee because, but it's Florida, so you're gonna deal with your extreme. I mean, there's thankfully it's been a quiet hurricane season right now. We're about to get in the full swing of things. October is typically when
Yep.
the hurricanes start happening here. So we only had a tropical storm so far, and then knock on wood, we don't got anything else coming up our way. But Florida knows how to handle storms. I mean, there were updates about sandbags and everything. I'm like, if anyone's going to survive a hurricane down in Florida, it's going to be the Floridians. They know what they're doing. So crazy.
Oh man.
Anyways,
Yeah, I just remember it like raining all the time. Epcot was
yes,
great. The rides had
the
got
rides are the best.
significantly better than what I
Yeah,
was when I was last there. That Jurassic Park Velocicoaster.
yeah.
Oh, bro, that was the
That was the
fucking shit.
to this day, it's the best roller coaster I've ever been on. And I love roller coasters. I've gone on tons of them. The Velocicoaster at Universal's was by far the best roller coaster I've ever been on.
And then me and
It's
Rach hitting the gold mine on the Hagrid ride, getting to sit at the front.
yes.
Oh man, that was like
Everything, man. Like all the like again, like that was just such a like again. I just love the whimsicalness of just being like, I'm coming to Florida, and I'm like, I guess I'm coming too.
that.
and
That's
it,
literally I'm one of those people where I don't struggle to organize things. Like
yeah,
I don't need people there, so it's like I
right.
am going. You can come if you want, and
Yes,
then it's like that's it. Like it didn't
and that's
matter.
what we did. It
Luckily,
was a
we were
great
planning
time.
on 13, and I think we only got 5. But that meant
Yes,
that we all got our own bedrooms in the Airbnb, which was
we
very
did.
nice.
We did. It was very. It was actually very nice. I do you, do you remember that? I was it the first night, or it was the first or second night when the alarm went off, and
Bro,
me and you burst out the doors. You come tumbling, and we're both shirtless. We're just like looking around, like what's going on. It stops, and we just look at each other, and we're like, all right, well, I guess it's over. We thought
back
we
to
were
bed.
gonna get robbed within the first night. We had just been
My
drinking and
Switch was down there. I was ready to swing.
that was crazy. That trip could like take up an entire podcast. So much happened. I met Chewbacca. I stole some kid's fucking dream.
Oh,
Do you
bro, I have the
remember?
pictures. We'll save it. We'll save it because I
We'll
have the
save it.
pictures.
I
But yeah,
felt so
we're about an
felt
hour
so
and 10
bad,
in.
man. Oh
So
my god.
if you want to wrap it up, look, and time flies when you're
Yeah.
having fun.
Oh my god. I mean, guys, I mean, honestly, we can wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up now. And just I mean, literally, this is what you're gonna be able to expect. Tangents, nothing, no structure, just chit chatting about whatever we want to talk to. I mean, guys, again, the whole idea behind this is literally it's a conversation between two friends. And honestly, anyone who's listening, you guys can just, the whole purpose is we guys want you to feel like you're a part of the conversation too, and just we're going to be talking about everything and anything. There's never going to be a topic about anything that we really want to cover. We might have an idea like, oh, we might talk about Florida one day and kind of go on to that, but as you guys can clearly see by the structure of things, we will go on to tangents, and it will be a whole lot of fun. But honestly, I just want to again give a really big quick shout out to Jake. Honestly, Jake, I'm super happy to have actually met you. It's crazy that
Hey,
we actually got to meet in person, and just the way we met, man. I just think it's super beautiful, and like you said, it kind of feels like we're like interconnected in some way, man. So I mean, thank you, man, for letting me go ahead and do this. I messaged you like 4 days ago. Hey, I said, hey, you want to do a podcast? And you're like, sure. And
let's
here
go.
we are. So guys, until next time, obviously this is Luke signing off. Jake, take it away and let's wrap it up, my man.
Yeah, thank you all for having me here. You'll see me again. I'm not. I act like I'm not coming back. I am. I'll be here.
Every
And
week.
hopefully you enjoy this one every week. Maybe we might skip a week or two, depending on schedules. But we'll try our best. So we'll catch you all in the
Yes.
next episode. Bye bye. Stay safe. Don't get
Bye.
hit by a tornado.
Oh god.